Do I think Bonino or James Reimer will be traded? Boy, we are here in the final hours before the deadline on March 3rd, and I don't think that's out of the question. And I mean, I've been saying James Reimer for a long time remained attractive, and look, ultimate compliment to Rhymes. I don't know that he's a team's starting netminder. Like, the reason that a playoff team would be in that spot is because they have somebody good, but just like when he came to San Jose in 2016 as Martin Jones' backup back then. That's why we loved him. He was so solid, so serviceable in that role. And I always said, you know what, James Reimer at that point is kind of like the ripcord. Well, maybe like the second ripcord. If you need him, and if something happened to Jones in that magical season going all the way to the Stanley Cup final, if something happened to Jones, it was great insurance to know that, oh, James Reimer is chilling in the shadows there waiting to go. Plus, he gave Martin Jones a huge rest down the stretch. So look, I'm here to pump James Reimer's tires. I don't think stats reflect at all how well he played this season, what he's capable of. I mean, and look, Käkkänen's playing better as of late too. There's no question about it. He had a pretty good February. But James Reimer has a bigger body of work and with more teams. And honestly, he's never really had like a full season to be the guy over and over. He's never had like a 70 start season like Nabby used to pull off year after year. But I just think Reimer is valuable definitely as a rental to a team. I don't know what that commands in return, but I'm saying it in the case of James Reimer. He would get the opportunity. He could bring something back to San Jose. Might all work out. Same thing, I think, for Nick Bonino. I don't know, and just looking at the trades that have already been made. I mean, Matt Nieto was dealt weeks ago. And I'm not saying that like Colorado wanted Nieto specifically or didn't talk about Bonino or, I'm just looking at comparable players. They do different things, but comparable players. So the fact that Bonino hasn't already gone, I don't know. And the same thing with Reimer. I expected him to probably move already. It's been a weird deadline, hasn't it? I mean, what's going to be left for March 3rd? Honestly, there's not going to be, I don't think, a huge deadline push because all the big moves have already been made with days to spare. This year has been such a drastic departure from what the NHL used to be. It used to be everybody held their cards really close to their chest, and then the day of the deadline, everybody's like, here you go, take all my cards. It's kind of crazy. So I really don't know. If you're asking, Merrick the Shark, if you're asking those guys specifically, I think there's a chance. I think there's a possibility, and there's a couple other names in the Sharks too. Look, I know they've got Nico Sturm for a couple years, but that's why another team would value a Nico Sturm on their clubs. Honestly, even Mikey Eyssimont, the way he came in, I'm not surprised other teams had their eyes on him and were like, whoa, what a steal that was by the Sharks. Picking him up on waivers. He played on the top line. He was productive. He was energetic. So now he's going to get a chance elsewhere. So stay tuned for sure. But this deadline has been very hard to predict based on the fact that so many things have already happened days in advance. What does that mean for the moves that you think are possible but haven't been made yet?